Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, sXeblues, and this little video is going to be talking about YouTube aspirations. And this is something that kind of cropped up recently in my mind with certain communications I've had recently with other users, as well as the whole sub for sub request thing that goes on, channel spamming, and so on and so forth. And these are just going to be some observations as well as opinions that I have on the whole, how to present yourself on YouTube, what your aspirations and goals maybe should be, and how I personally think, effective video making works. I haven't been in the game that long, not as long as some people, and maybe I guess it's arguable whether I would be, the right person to come along and start spouting off how you should be doing things on YouTube. And this by no means is a, tutorial or, suggesting that if you're not going to do these things, then to hell with you. Nothing like that. It's just some observations, and I haven't really done a video like this in a while where I've just sat back and talked about the kinds of things that I'm looking at on YouTube and the kinds of things that I'm kind of doing my videos with the mindset of and behind. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And the first thing that I want to mention on this topic is the whole sub for sub. I really hate this. I don't like it. I don't like people who spam their videos out. I don't like people who only make a video every time their subscription number goes up, because they're otherwise going around searching, subbing to channels. Oh, hey, sub me. Oh, hey, sub me. I've subbed you, sub me. That's really lack of inspiration, lack of creativity, and in the end, at least for people like me, you're just digging a hole and making an enemy. Not an enemy in the sense that I'll hunt you down and I'll troll you and all of these things. I'll just ignore the hell out of you because you're annoying if you do these things, in my opinion. I don't like sub for sub. I only will sub things that I find interesting, or people that I find interesting or entertaining. I won't just sub a channel to have another notch on my belt. I don't go looking for it. I hope people will come and subscribe to my channel if they're interested in what I have to say. I usually like being able to interact with people. Maybe I don't always do it as effectively as I'd like, being restricted to strictly mobile things online. I don't have access to, all the different forms of communication, although I'm trying to branch out with Facebook and things like that, and just kind of, have a little more of a breaking through that barrier of communication. But on whole, I really just have a disdain for this sub for sub mentality. I'm not going to subscribe to a channel if I don't have a vested interest in either the content that people are putting across or the opinions they're putting across. And I don't always have to agree with said opinions. Sometimes I will sub a channel because it's someone who, challenges my perceptions, my preconceptions, and just, makes me think. I want to be entertained, but I also want to be enlightened. I want my, vistas to widen and broaden. And so the sub for sub thing is out. That's my thing. That's the way I carry it. So, but in recent days, I've had a couple sub for sub requests and things like that, and I don't really respond to them. But I want to take this time to say something about some of the channels that I've observed doing this. I've already mentioned that one aspect of the sub for sub thing. Certain people don't even have a video up. They don't even make videos. Maybe you'll see someone who has 1 or 2 videos and they're not that great. And then there are channels that there are 50 videos where it's usually pointless, the ones I've seen. No real goal, no real focus on a topic, and every other video is, oh, I have this many subscribers now, I have that many subscribers now. And it bugs me for the people who are actually, these people don't seem to have a real genuine goal of communicating an idea or sharing opinions or sharing in a love for something. It seems that the overall goal with people who do those types of channels and videos, if they do videos at all, are in it for, strictly fame, or strictly they think, they want to be rich and famous, that type of thing. And this really touches on the whole broad goal of what I think YouTube is about. I mean, I know there are partners and there are people who do make money with millions and millions of views a day. I know there are a few smaller partners who are really have great content on their channels, and they're not, they're not going to make the buck that perhaps, in our opinions, they should be. But the thing is, those people who may be partners, maybe they're not, maybe they're like me, and they're just doing it, for the fun of it, wanting to interact and put an opinion out there, not really looking at the buck. Of course, hey, who am I to turn down money when I'm usually broke anyway? But I'm not doing that with that being the sole goal for this, And the point I want to make is, I think it's best to have a focus, have a point in your video. And, I think it's arguable whether I communicate well enough. I'm definitely very critical of my own videos, and I always think they could be better. I look back at a few of them and just say, oh, those are utter crap, I can't even sit through them again. But I take pride in being as intelligible in communicating whatever point or whatever opinion I want to get across. I take pride in being able to communicate it as well as I can. And there are people who, when they're talking to the camera, it doesn't really come across well enough. You want to be able to sit down, be comfortable in front of the camera, talk about something that you have passion for, that you have a focus on, communicating this idea that you have. And I think you should pick your topics well. I mean, I don't want to see somebody's, scars on their body or something like that. I know there are plenty of videos where, oh, this guy fell down the stairs, and okay, well, there's probably a, viewership for that type of thing. I don't find it very interesting. There's a whole sadomasochism slant, I'm sure. But I don't feel that this is a video that should really be in existence. And it has no topic, it has no focus. It's not communicating anything. It's just, what's the point of it? In my opinion, I don't see one. So I say pick your topics well. Talk about things that you're passionate about. Are you a gamer? Do you like a certain show? Do you like movies? These are things that I personally like, but there are people who talk about religion or religious topics. There are people who talk about, drugs and alcohol in a, format to teach you about them. There are people who just make stupid random videos about those topics. There are people who are straight edge like me, although I'm a non-militant straight edge. I'm very laid back, and you can do what you want. It's just not for me, that type of thing. But there are videos on those topics. I personally like entertainment geeky stuff, whether it be action figures, video games, movies, DVDs, that type of thing. Doctor Who, Star Trek. At least I try to have, at the end of the day, a goal for the videos that I make, or rather a topic and a goal as far as how I want to communicate my ideas and put them across. Another thing I want to mention is, getting back to the whole sub for sub thing, the idea of spamming your videos or your channel. This bugs the hell out of me, because many times do I get message after message, sign up for sub. You should be getting more views. You should be a partner. You should be making money, and this, that, and the other thing. And people are easily led into believing this is the way to go about their YouTube thing, Personally, I completely disagree. For me, doing videos is just about enjoying it, I enjoy the hell out of plugging in my phone, turning on my camera, and talking about, my movie pick for the week. That is a movie I watch and I enjoy, and I, want to say something cool about it, Whereas I see time and time again, just whether the topic is good or not, band videos. I get these sent to me all the time because I make a weekly show where I talk about songs. I'm not, some Hollywood talent scout. I'm not gonna, look at everything that comes my way. I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, forgive the language, but frankly, I don't want to see everything that's out there. I don't want spam sent to me. Usually I'll just ignore it, and it's a pain in the butt. And it's just one of the many problems in this whole YouTube thing. If you let it, it can get in the way of your enjoyment of being able to communicate ideas, have a fun time, and, that should be the basis for everything. What I want to say about video making specifically, because I don't think you should portray anything other than yourself. Yes, there are people who do little comic pieces where they play a character, this, that, or the other thing. There are vloggers who it's arguable whether they're giving us a real view into their real lives or not. But I believe, for me personally, the best advice is to be honest about who you are. Be true to yourself. Talk about the things that you really are interested in. Don't try to portray something that you're not, or come across as someone that you're not. And when it comes to the technical aspect, I'm not going to speak too much on how you should record your videos, or, this, that, or the other thing, the technical aspects. But my idea is, when I do videos, I'll use at most bullet points if I have a lot of things to communicate. I'm honestly using them for this video right now. I'm going down a list trying to cover all the things that I want to talk about, but I don't script my videos. I have an idea of what I want to say, and usually if I'm using my camera phone, which is the only way I can record videos other than being able to do a podcast like this where I'm recording it on my computer with Windows Movie Maker, one of the older models. But I don't script things. Sometimes I feel like I could have done it a lot better, but usually I sit down and I turn on the camera and I record, and it'll take me anywhere from 3 times to get one right that I'm comfortable with, or if I'm having a bad day, I might go 10 to 20 takes, and each subsequent one being deleted until I hit the perfect one. And my point is, do what's comfortable for you. If you have to script it, do it. If you can use bullet points and kind of freestyle it like is what I'm doing right here, do that. But, it's up to you, however you feel is better effective. But again, going back to something I said earlier, you should have focus. You should have a point and a topic that you've chosen well, something that speaks to you and that you can communicate effectively. And the final thing that I want to mention, have fun doing this. Don't have your eyes set on the prize in the aspect of, the avarice side of things. Don't have your heart set on, I want to be famous, I want to be rich. I'm only going to be doing this to put my face out there, to get my face on magazines and in TV commercials and things like that. It is really, that's not the reality of the situation. I saw one channel a while back that admires vloggers and wants that kind of partnership, wants to be making money, traveling, and everything like that. Something that they do not realize is that these are people who have been around for a while, number one. Number two, most of the time when they travel, they're doing it on their own buck, and they have other various means, whether they have another job outside of vlogging or whatever it is. And the viewership, of course they can sell merchandise with their logos on it and things like that, and okay, that's great, fine, whatever. If you can do that, great. If you're marketable, great. But you're never going to get anywhere with the sole aspiration for your video making being avarice, being greed, and the want of fame and fortune. It's a cruel truth, but one you have to come to accept. I think you should have humble aspirations if you want to do anything on YouTube or online, in life in general. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this entire topic, and so I hope you're all doing well. I'll catch you later. Peace.